Hey everybody, this is Sherry Mitchell and
Ava
Mitchell, my granddaughter, and today we wanted to bake what's known here at our house as Helen Lodwick's Crazy Cake. So here's how this cake started, and Ava made it when she was a little girl, and little children love this. It's a sensory type of thing, so you'll see. Follow along. But let me read to you out of my book, my farmhouse journal, on page 134, so you know a little bit about it. When I was a youngster in Helen Lodwick's 4-H club, 1968, she always made this cake for our Christmas party, held in her equestrian party room. With the open rafters and a roaring fire in the fireplace, the stone fireplace, the silver she had polished shined brightly. She had horse trophies and ribbons hanging from the ceiling all the way around, and her husband Dick Lodwick would tell horse stories while the food was being prepared. And this cake Helen made all the time, or at least for Christmas for us. And I love it. It's rich, it's heavy, it's moist, it's chocolatey, and so, so good. So we're gonna make that for you. Ava used to do it. I'm gonna find some old pictures that I'll include on this along the way. And I may take a few pictures today on my new phone of what's going on. So let's get started. Now I have these recipe cards, Chocolate Crazy Cake, Helen Lodwick's Crazy Cake. And I'm just gonna read it along and Ava's gonna put it together, and you just use one pan. Okay, ready? Ready, Ava?
Yep.
All right, let's go. So you combine and mix with your hands. Kids love this. Did you wash your hands?
Yep.
Perfect.
Twice.
Good.
Just in case.
In a greased pan. We already greased it with shortening. We used shortening back in the day, but you could spray it with the Pam if you want to, not a problem. So in a 13 by 9 pan, we are going to first put 3 cups of flour. And I'll have this recipe at the end for you, or you can write me or call me and I'll send one to you. I can drop that in the mail to you for a little of nothing. Okay. Now we're gonna add 6 tablespoons of Hershey's cocoa. Now I have dark chocolate cocoa. Usually this would be a milk chocolate, so I only put 3. And I'm gonna know by how dark chocolate it is. So 6 of the regular milk chocolate Hershey's. Or 3 is what I'm starting out with the dark chocolate, because I don't want it to be too rich. Okay, very good. Now, 2 cups of sugar, granulated sugar. Okay. We're gonna have 2 teaspoons of baking soda. This cake doesn't have any eggs. Isn't that unbelievable? You didn't know there was a cake. It's an eggless cake. And 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, and that looks so pretty. I've got to get a picture, so just hold on just a moment. You know how I am about pictures. Yay! Okay, all right, so now with that, you're gonna mix that up with your hands. And this is the part the kids love. And they look at you usually, like when she was little, because she was little, standing on her step stool over there at my kitchen counter. And she has a picture where she's like doing this and her eyes are big, because kids don't normally get to do this. So this is a great experiment for them to mix all this together. Now, when I was in the kitchen as a child, I've said this many times, I felt like a little scientist, because this is like being a scientist, mixing things together to create something or to do a study about. This has no eggs, and you might wonder, well, how's the cake gonna rise? That's our oven that just beeped. 350 degrees. Preset your oven. How do you like doing that?
It's super satisfying.
Even after all these years, it's super satisfying. Yeah. Okay. Now you could do this if you're, some kids have some sensory issues. You want to go around the edges with this and just show them. You can mix with a whisk if that becomes an issue. And they might like that better. And they might like seeing the chocolate blend in with the white, which is cool, because you want to get that mixed up really good. So go ahead and make sure that it's all one color. There you go. So she's drawing in the flour like you do in the sand. Yeah.
It looks like sand.
It does, doesn't it?
It looks like dark sand.
Yeah. So anyway, to this horse crazy kid, I was in heaven just to be in that room that her husband Dick had the fireplace roaring with a good fire. Food had been brought in. Helen had made this crazy cake, and I couldn't wait every year for our Christmas party, our 4-H Christmas party. Many years passed by, and my oldest son Dan joined, would you get this? Her Silver Spurs 4-H club. True to tradition, she was still holding her 4-H Christmas party, and there, to my surprise, was her signature chocolate cake. She made squares and she dusted them with confectioner's sugar. We didn't even have any icing. It's that good. You don't even need icing. Again, the fire roared brightly as did the silver. And every year she told us that she had a whole display case of silver trophies and bowls and platters and serving trays that they had won with their Arabian horses. Now being an adult, I finally asked her for this cake recipe. She proudly smiled wide and began reciting it to me on the spot. Then laughed, call me, I'll give it to you again. So she'd made it so many times that she knew the recipe without even looking. And I did call her, and I got the recipe over the phone, and I do have that note card around here somewhere so that I could use it in my book. She gave it to me over the phone. I quickly jotted it down on my recipe card. Through the years, I have made it many, many times since. My grandchildren love making this with Grandma. You can use a spoon to mix it, but kids prefer using their hands. All right, are we good?
Yep.
All right, so let's go ahead and make a well right in the center, because we're gonna pour our wet ingredients in there. And I'm sitting here just reminiscing after reading that and thinking about that room. They had built on this room off of the main house, which was an older little white house, and it was big and lots of glass windows all the way around. The big stone fireplace over here and an entrance to the kitchen behind me would have been her entrance. And then the shining silver was over here. And then all along the very top on a wire, they had all of their horse ribbons hanging. Probably not all of them, because I mean, my goodness, they won many years over, many shows over the years. So it was just heaven to this horse crazy kid. Heaven. Not only that, just going to the horse farm with more than 1 or 2 horses was even more exciting.
There we go.
All right, so we have a well, don't we?
Yep.
All right, so next, let's see. Form a well inside the dry mix. We're gonna add 16 tablespoons of vegetable oil, which is almost a cup, or it is a cup, but I don't go clear to the top because I'll spill it. So just a shade less, a scant cup I have on here. Then, woo, that's okay, don't panic.
Like a volcano.
It's like a little volcano, she says. Then we're gonna add our 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and let's just make sure it's good.
Vanilla. That one is
Well,
vinegar. She got it mixed up with the vinegar.
Oh
She
my
tried
God.
the vinegar.
well, I was gonna say, one time, when Ava was little, I had done vanilla, we were doing vanilla, and I said, because she was probably 3 or 4, maybe, I don't think anything older than that. And I said, have you ever tasted vanilla? She said, no. So do it, go ahead, get you. So we did, and we went, and I did about like I did with vinegar, because my vanilla was so old, it had turned to vinegar, and we were like, it was awful. And that's vinegar, and it's awful. It's just awful. So let's get back on track. 2 teaspoons of vanilla, which tastes really good. You want to check your baking supplies. If you haven't baked for a while and you got some little grandchildren coming through, you know, throw some of that stuff out. All right, and then 2 tablespoons of vinegar. I use Bragg's vinegar there. Okay, and then here comes the big one. 2 cups of water, which we have in our little container. Yeah? We're gonna grab a little picture of that real quick. Let me get back here. There we go. Now we got it. I can't wait to dig these pictures out. This is the little dish I remember that Ava and I cut the cake and put on there, and she's holding it like this. I can't wait to dig those out and try to get those included in this video. Okay, now here comes the fun part, although most kids go, really? Put your hands in it and mix it. Gonna mix it all up. Note we have the apron on today, just in case. We have on a tablecloth that we can throw into the washer.
Sounds cool.
It sounds cool? Yeah? You know, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, mixing a cake up with our hands? That's the only way to mix a meatloaf. Actually, I have a meatloaf recipe that's going to be going up soon too. Now did we do that together, me and you?
I don't think so.
Oh, I remember. I did some of it, but the TV was kind of loud. So I might have to do that again. But anyway, I have a great meatloaf recipe, and the only way to mix up meatloaf is with your hands. So you wash your hands and you mix it up. Now, in my book, let's see, I'll show that to you. This is the way Helen always did it, in the cake pan, and then we did squares because we, were the little 4-H kids there. But I actually did it, I don't know if you can see that, in a bundt pan, a tube pan. If it's got a form to it, you want to make sure you spray it really good so that it will come out nice and good. And then I just gobbed a little bit of white icing on it, and for festivities I put some cherries on it, and I had that for Christmas one year. It's really good. Now my dad preferred any chocolate cake right out of the oven and a pat of butter on it. He grew up in the Depression, so he was thankful to get a chocolate cake, and probably icing was too much of an expense to worry about, and today it's too much sugar. So he with just a pat of butter. I like it really well. This is just a delicious, rich cake. I like it with just the powdered sugar on it, and it's good with icing too, if you want to.
This smells good.
Smells good?
Good?
Okay, so I only put 3 of the dark chocolate cocoa. I couldn't think what I wanted to say. Of the cocoa. And I think I'm gonna put 1 more, just because I like it really rich in chocolate. So let me get that, and we'll sprinkle that on the top. And as you all know, probably, the dark chocolate is even better for you than the light. So that's why I happen to have that on hand. So I'm just gonna sprinkle it, well, maybe not. Okay, now my recipe will say 6, but again, we're gonna reiterate that one more time. And I'm not gonna lick this because that would be gross. Of the milk chocolate, 6 would be plenty, would be perfect. But, okay, so I'll stick that over there. And hope I don't get that on my book, right? That's the problem when you have your cookbook around your things. You can always tell in a cookbook the recipes that got cooked often, right? Let me grab another little picture of my little Ava with her hands in there. Ava's now 12 years old, so we made this many, many years ago. All right, are we good?
I think so.
Think it's all cooked up?
Yep.
Now the best part is licking it off your hands, right? Okay. So I better she says, oh, I don't know about that this time,
I
right?
don't think I can.
I'll get her some paper towel. Hold on. there you go. Until you get over there, she's gonna go over to the sink and wash this up. And I'm just gonna take her spot, and I'm just gonna wipe the edges a little bit, just to get all that flour and the extra chocolate off of there. Looks like she did good. I'm just gonna do one more thing right in the corners because that's kind of hard to get with your fingers. Looks good, doesn't it? It's so good. It is so good. Now there's no eggs in this, right? No eggs. So we don't have to be concerned about licking it. Didn't you love sitting by your mom with that mixer? Eggs or no eggs, we couldn't wait. So somebody, Debbie and I, either got the beaters or we shared the bowl or we licked the beaters. And we're still here all these years later. Didn't hurt us a bit. We had fresh eggs from the supermarket. Okay, so now this is gonna go in the oven at 350 degrees. And I summed up my story with, we think of Helen often and the many memories she made for us. God rest her soul. And the recipe's name, I don't know its original name. Maybe it was just chocolate cake. But it's referred to at our house ever since as Helen Lodwick's Crazy Cake. So we're gonna pop this in the oven and we will get you a few pictures of the completed product and Ava when she was just a little tyke helping me in the kitchen, which she does often. All grown up now, doing a few things of her own in the kitchen. Yeah. Okay?
Okay.
Good job, Abe.
All right.
All right. All right, so now our cake is done and it's cooled. Cooled it a little bit. Kind of fell in the middle, it's so heavy. So one of the ways that you can do this is with butter. Ta-da! Icing, or like Helen Lodwick did, which is just confectioner sugar. It just gives a little hint of sweetness. So I'll hold it over this because some of it's going to pour through, and then you're just going to shake it lightly.
Okay.
Nice little coating. Okay. Go ahead and shake that, just nice and easy.
Do you have a little Kroger bag in
Okay, not right now, I don't, Hayden.
Huh?
Okay, hold on. I'll get you a Kroger bag in a minute, or you can go over to the sink and get one.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Okay, how's that?
I think that looks
Pretty good?
good.
Or you can do this if you want to get right into the middle, or corners, I should say. Doesn't that look like snow? Maybe that's why Helen Lodwick liked it so much, like this. Okay, and then here comes the big part. We're gonna cut this out. And like I said, my dad really liked it warm, and then he would cut a big piece. And actually, I think he sliced it a little bit and threw the butter in between the cake so that it would melt.
Like a cake sandwich.
Like a cake sandwich. A cake sandwich. Yeah. I think that's how he liked it the most. I mean, he really liked chocolate cake with just butter.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, so here comes the first big old chunk.
Ooh.
Ta-da! Look at that. Let's get that piece off of there. You can't see that. Really moist, thick, heavy. That's the way I like cake. Do you like cake moist
Yes.
and heavy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get myself a little piece here. What do you need, girl?
I'm gonna rinse my hands off.
She's gonna rinse her hands off. Okay. I'm just gonna put mine on this plate. I'm thinking this is going to be delicious. Well, I know it is. I don't think it. Here's a really good one. Ice cream. Or you can make brownies out of this. When I worked at the Lucky Whip in Mount Orb, Dick Pershing was the owner, and he made a brownie sundae with the whipped ice cream with a really heavy cake like this. Maybe it was this recipe, I don't know. You like it?
Oh, that's real good.
Yeah? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but this would work perfect for that. I'm gonna try a bite. Really chocolatey. It was a good call to back off with the dark chocolate. Instead of 6 tablespoons, I went to 3, and then I added 1 more, 4, because it's really chocolatey. Perfect. Really heavy. Really moist. Just how I like my cakes, heavy and moist.
Yeah.
This little bit of powdered sugar is perfect. Sometimes you get chocolate and then maybe do chocolate and then you're so rich that it makes your stomach ache. Little aching stomach. Anyway, it's delicious. We hope you try it sometime. Contact me if you want one of my recipe cards. I'll send it to you in the mail. You can connect with me at sherryphillipsmitchell.com and text me at 513-377-2381. And we'll be seeing you real soon.
Yep.
Here at the kitchen.
Be sure to like and subscribe if you
yeah.
want more cooking videos.
That's right. Like and subscribe. We'll be seeing ya.